Ting stood at the edge of the schoolyard, his dark eyes scanning the crowd with a mixture of boredom and arrogance. Known for his rebellious streak, he was the bad boy every girl whispered about and every boy wanted to be friends. His friends Jungkook, Jimin, RM, J-Hope, Suga and Jin formed on intimidating circles around him, their presence commanding respect. Meanwhile, Vine walked through the school gates, her heart racing with nervous excitement. It was her first day at his new school, and she hoped to blend in without drawing. She was a picture of innocence, her gentle nature and kind heart shining through her shy. As fate would have it, Vine's path crossed things almost immediately. She tripped over a low stone and her book shattered across the pavement. Ting watched the scene unfold, a smirk playing on his lips. He approached her, his friends following suit. Need some help? Ting asked, his tone dripping with sarcasm. Vine looked up, her cheeks flushing with embarrassment. I am fine, thank you, she stammered, quickly gathering her books. Jimin, always the playful one, nudged Taehyung. Come on, man, give the girl a break. Taehyung rolled his eyes but knelt down to help Vine as their hand brushed. A spark of something unfamiliar flickered in his chest. He quickly dismissed it, attributing it to nothing more than fleeting curiosity. Days turned into week and Taehyung found himself noticing Vine more often than he cared to admit. She was different from the other girls, genuine, kind, and utterly oblivious to the chores that followed him. He started seeking her out always with an excuse ready on his lips. One rainy afternoon, Vine was sitting in the library, her nose buried in a book. Taehyung, drenched from the sudden downpour, entered the library, his gaze immediately drawn to her. Without thinking, he approached her table. Mind if I sit here? He asked, his voice softer than usual. Vine looked up, surprised. Of course, she said, moving her things aside. What brings you to the library? Just needed a quiet place, Taehyung replied, shrugging. And you? I love reading, Vine said with a small smile. It's like an escape from reality. Taehyung found himself intrigued by her words. For your favorite book? They spent the next hour talking about books, life, and everything in between. For the first time, Taehyung felt a connection that went beyond superficial attractions. Vine's innocence and purity were like a breath of fresh air, and he found himself yearning for more of her presence. As their friendship grew, so did Taehyung's feeling for Vine. He tried to fight it, knowing his reputation could only bring her trouble. But the more he got to know her, the harder it became to stay away. One evening, after a particularly rough day, Taehyung found himself outside Vine's house. He had no plans on visiting, but his feet seemed to have a mind of their own. He took a deep breath and knocked on the door. Vine opened it, her eyes filling in surprise. Taehyung, what are you doing here? I need to see you, he admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. Vine stepped aside to let him in, her concern evident. What's wrong? He looked at her, his defenses crumbling. Everything, nothing. I don't know, Vine. Being around you makes me feel different, like I can be someone better. Vine reached out her hand, gently squeezing his. You are better, Taehyung. You just have to believe it. Her words struck a chord in him, and for the first time, Taehyung allowed himself to hope. Maybe, just maybe, he could be the person Vine saw in him. The more time Taehyung spent with Vine, the more he realized how deeply he had fallen for her. His friend noticed the change in him. He was softer, more thoughtful, and less reckless. They teased him mercilessly, but they also supported him, understanding that Vine was a good influence. One night, as they sat under the stars, Taehyung turned to Vine, his heart pounding in his chest. Vine, there is something I need to tell you. She leaned at him, her eyes filled with warmth and curiosity. What is it? I love you, Taehyung said, his voice steady. I have never felt this way before and it scares me, but I can't deny it any longer. I love you, Vine. Tears welled up in Vine's eyes, but she smiled, her eyes swelling with joy. I love you too, Taehyung. As they shared their first kiss, the world around them seemed to fade away. In that moment, nothing else mattered. They had found each other and together they knew they could overcome anything. Taehyung and Vine's relationship faced many challenges, but their love only grew stronger. With Vine by his side, Taehyung worked hard to change his face, proving to himself and everyone else that he was capable of being more just a bad boy. Their love story became a testament to the power of change and the magic of finding someone who believes in you. And as they walked hand in hand through the halls of their school, they knew that their love was a twist of fate, one that neither of them would ever regret.